I recently moved out to Albuquerque just kind of, to seek something new and see what's going on in the city. When I first got out here, the one thing that blew my mind away was the artists, from the street art to the fine arts to just the people themselves. They embrace the arts.
Since my mom worked at the Mexican consulate, they always had featured artists from Mexico there. And from there, I researched myself about, Diego Rivera, Frida Kahlo, and then later, of course, graffiti and hip hop. The culture of hip hop then influenced my art as well. Then I touched the spray can at the age of 12 and 13. That's how I coped with a lot of problems in high school, was me drawing and painting.
I thought the city had a lot to offer when it came to art and art culture.
A lot of the artists here, they do it for the passion. There's not really a lot of financial prospects here in Albuquerque, New Mexico for, young artists that love to do what they do.
The city is now ramping up their mural program and actually wanting to fund the public arts. And I think, but the issue now is getting kids at a younger age in the door as far as painting murals, and also then making the professional aspect to that.
I love when I go to markets and I feel like I see a lot of artists and they're doing very well for themselves financially. I think that's very important and we should support that.
As far as there being a whole infrastructure of art exchange here, there's not really that. You don't see that too often in Albuquerque, New Mexico. A lot of the artists, they do their art because they love it, and something that keeps them going.
Art Basel Miami, oh man, it's like the Olympics of the art world. It's like, any art gallery or art festival you've been to, imagine that on steroids. Like, that's what Art Basel is. Art Basel is, the city of Miami, Miami Beach, and the Windward Art District becomes like an open canvas.
Because you have a bunch of different artists from all over the world coming down in one place, and that could be technology, filmmaking, muralism, illustration, graphic design, and fashion, and they're all there, intermingling and sharing ideas.
Some, people that do sculpting work, people that do murals, people that do, fashion, graphic design, photography. There's even a whole film criteria for Art Basel.
Like, you walk around, you see people just painting on walls. You see buildings coming to life with 3D mapping. It's like nothing I've ever seen before. I love it. And I think everyone should be able to be exposed to it at least once in their life.
And so when you're out there with, a bunch of aspiring youth that do the same thing, of course they're going to connect and they're going to, look at some art, appreciate it, and want to find that artist and talk to them.
I'm a firm believer in the term out of sight, out of mind. So you have to make sure you're in the places where things are going on so people can recognize you.
I think Albuquerque is one of these spots where not a lot of people know, especially when you go more Midwest, East Coast, they don't even know that New Mexico's a state. They're like, what, Mexico? You going to Mexico?
I mean, when I think of Albuquerque, I'm not gonna lie, the first thing I thought about was Bugs Bunny when he said, make a left at Albuquerque. Like, that was my exposure to it.
But, so there's this shadow that's been casted over us a little bit. And the way, to get a shadow is you shine a little light on it.
With Basel a Bus, we want to take artists from Albuquerque and send them out to Art Basel. We're going to take a bus. It's going to be about 5-6 of us. We're going to pack up in this bus and we're going to drive out to South Beach. And when we get out there, we're going to have the rap buses. Everyone's going to have the t-shirts on. It's all about Albuquerque and we have to represent. We're going to send a lot of kids out there with video cameras and we're going to document this whole experience. They're going to do testimonials. They're going to have art walls to work on. So once we get the kids out there, we're going to document the whole process, so when we come back home, we come back to Albuquerque, it's important that we share their experience with the city.
Going out there and holding it down for Albuquerque, New Mexico, will not only, make people like, yo, Albuquerque got some flavor coming out of there, like look at these artists that are coming from Albuquerque, New Mexico, doing big things, they're over here at Art Basel representing for their hometown, but, it'll also bring these artists back with a whole new vision, doing much bigger things, to Albuquerque, New Mexico, and, maybe even for Albuquerque, New Mexico.
So people who haven't been to Art Basel or don't even know what Art Basel is, when we come back, we'll lay it all out for them. Say, hey, here's the survey of the land. I even want to take some skateboarders out there. We can take some skateboarders out there and strap them up with the GoPro and have them get some footage of the city. That's important because the skateboarding scene is really big in Albuquerque.
I think young artists in Albuquerque can benefit from being exposed to Art Basel the same way anyone can benefit from being exposed to a broader world.
Yeah, I think exposing and bringing a kid to Art Basel in Miami would definitely open up their eyes and see the possibilities of their art form be flourishing in different realms instead of just, you know, mural painting or the very narrow mindset of what it is what art is supposed to be.
I coach slam poetry. In the summer of 2014, we took 6 kids that had never been to Brave New Voices International Poetry Slam Competition. 30-hour drive all the way to Philadelphia from here. It took us, you know, 2 days and a half. And when they got there, they had no idea that there was a whole world of kids that were just like them. You know, when you're talking in the world of arts and the world of opportunity, you know, there's no limitations on, you know, age and what can happen. There's a whole world of opportunity and inspiration out there, and if, you know, if the kids don't see that, you know, then, you know, it's going to be hard to keep their flame going.
And not only be exposed to different styles of art and technique, but they can also see how some of these artists market themselves and make financial gains off of their art. I think that's very important.
The reason for me to go out and want to really be part of Art Basel is because I really just want to meet and really connect to different artists that I could potentially make opportunities happen for our artists here to go out and travel and see other places that this art scene is happening at too. And that's not just even talking about nationally, I'm talking about internationally, and meeting all these different international artists.
I look forward to the experience. I look forward to connecting. I look forward to introducing one of our young people to an artist of high caliber and them actually having that conversation about art.
I just want to go have some fun. I love Miami, I love South Beach, I love Art Basel, and I like exposing people to things like that. Things that I think are fun, that excite me, I think they'll excite everyone else, especially young people. So, I mean, just to look in the kid's eye when he starts seeing the city come to life, that's something that I love and I want to document, and I want to share that rest of the world and share it with the city. I think it's going to be beautiful.